Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person today. My name's Michael Fiddes. I will have met, I'm sure, many of you in the past. My background is I've been involved in farm agency for over 30 years. 6 months ago, I joined Ceres Property. I've worked with many of the partners and other staff in Ceres Property over many, many years. We have a lot of mutual clients. I have a huge respect for them, and I think there's a real opportunity for me coming into the business to help them, work with them and their clients to achieve their aspirations and strategic aims. Before I talk about the year ahead, I think it's just quite good to put it in the context of where we've been in 2023. The land market is, I think, at a place where there has never been a weaker correlation between farming profitability and actually capital values. Prices in 2023 rose by about 15% from the previous year. We see average arable land figures about 11,000 an acre, but there's a huge variation behind that, and I'll come back to that in a minute. And on permanent pasture land, about £8,000 an acre, and that would be across the UK overall. Behind that, what is driving that? Well, supply has come up a bit from an historical low. I think there are about 80,000 acres which were publicly marketed last year in England and Wales. If you went back 15, 20 years, that would have been twice as much or 3 times as much. But it's up from the COVID years where it was less than 50,000 acres. What is noticeable is more land is selling privately. And that, I think, is because the market and technology and everything now is much more sophisticated, and many sellers don't want to really see the whole public marketing of their property, and there's a greater knowledge of where the buyers are. So I think we're seeing a market which is changing, and we're seeing a supply side which is slowly rising from an historic low. If we look at the demand side, again, historically, you would have seen farmers being the vast majority of the buyers of land, and that has dipped in the last few years. There are basically rollover buyers who are a lot of development land is taking place, so there's a lot of rollover money looking to buy land. You're finding quite a lot of wealth from other industries, other sectors, which is looking to buy land, and that is often around inheritance tax and wealth preservation, but also just enjoyment of land and what that brings to people, privacy, seclusion, etc. We're seeing quite a lot of farming companies, institutions coming into the market, some very big players out there who bought a lot of land in the last few years, and some areas, real pressure being put on the market and real competition for land, and particularly up in the northwestern part of East Anglia. And also we've got the green investors who are coming into the market with the rise of the whole BNG and the rewilding that is really a very topical debate at the moment. So there are these serious amount of money looking for a home, with still quite a tight supply in land. Farming is going through quite a period of change with the coming out of Europe. The subsidy, the European CAP subsidy regime is obviously being phased out. There are various other schemes replacing it coming in, and I think there are challenges to farmers to what farming looks like in the future. At the same time, there is huge pressure on land. Land is a finite commodity. They don't make it anymore. And as well as providing food and food production, which is basically what is behind farming, you're seeing the whole issue of decarbonisation. You're seeing the whole issue of planting more forestry. You're seeing demand for development on land, and also a way of producing fuel, whether it's through solar or biofuels or whatever it is. So there's a lot of people who are looking to make use out of land, and I think if you look historically, that is definitely on the rise from a period probably 50 years ago where really the main thing that farming was doing was producing food. Series property is here to help the clients achieve what they want to achieve, and I think in the farm agency world, as I've already said, there is more private sales taking place, so market knowledge becomes terribly important. And there is huge price variation. I talked about an average value of £11,000 an acre on arable land. That can be anything from £8,000 to £25,000 per acre. And that is dependent on where you are in the country, the size of the block, and knowing who the other buyers might be. So you need market knowledge not only to know what's available to buy, but also who's in the market and the strength of the market where you are. And I think this is where we can make a difference for our clients. The experience we have, the knowledge we have, and it's me working with the rest of the series property team to be able to make sure that at the end of the day, we deliver to clients what they want to achieve.